Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a bias that's so ingrained in our world, you might not even see it. I'm talking about our cultural obsession with youth and how it's causing us to overlook one of our most valuable resources, age and experience. I mean, just think about it for a second. The newest smartphone, the latest fashion trend, the youngest CEO, our whole culture seems to be in this frantic, nonstop race for whatever's next. But in that rush, what are we accidentally tossing aside? So, let's really get into it. We're going to unpack this major societal blind spot, figure out what it's made of, and then, most importantly, explore a much more thoughtful way of looking at things. All right, first up, let's try to pin down the problem. What exactly is this modern mistake that our source material is talking about? Okay, so this is really the core of it. We've developed this cultural habit of looking at aging as, well, a process of decline, not an accumulation of value. It's this default mindset that kind of automatically equates older with being out of touch or irrelevant. And that has some serious knock-on effects, everywhere from our workplaces to our own families. And what's so interesting here is how this all breaks down into three things our society practically worships. First, we idolize youth, right, for all that perceived energy and untapped potential. Then we idolize speed because we're convinced that faster always equals better. And finally, we idolize novelty, because let's be honest, we're hooked on the excitement of something new. On their own, they don't seem so bad, do they? But here's the consequence. You can see it so clearly on this chart. When you put all your value on novelty and speed, experience just naturally sinks to the bottom. It creates this huge imbalance where we're chasing what's shiny and fast over what's actually wise and time-tested. And that leads to a really crucial question. What do we actually lose when we push the perspectives of people who've, been around the block a few times? What's the real price we pay for this imbalance? So now, let's shift gears and look at a more constructive path forward. We're going to dive into what our source calls a virtuous counterpoint. And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's two totally different ways of seeing the world. On one side, you've got the modern tendency. It sees loss, irrelevance, a need for novelty. But on the other side, you get things that you can only earn through time. You get wisdom that comes from making mistakes. You get a perspective that helps calm you down. And you get this steadiness that isn't rocked by every single new trend that comes along. It's a massive shift in what we choose to see as valuable. This quote just nails it, I think. And check out that word reverence. This isn't just about tolerating older people. It's about having a deep, active respect for what they bring to the table. It's about seeing that maturity offers these unique, invaluable strengths that you just can't hack or speed up. And that, right there, is the key. This kind of shift doesn't just happen on its own. Our cultural default, a lot of the time, is to just dismiss what's old. So it takes a real conscious effort, an active choice to pull away from that and move toward a deliberate practice of respect. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, but how do we actually do it? Let's get practical and look at how you can actually apply this idea in your day-to-day life. So, our source material actually suggests this pretty simple three-step practice. First, value perspective. That means you have to actively go look for the viewpoints of people with more life experience. Don't just wait for it to fall in your lap. Second, practice respect. This is all about honoring the road someone has traveled to get all that knowledge. And third, and this one might be the most important, listen to learn. Go into a conversation with an elder not thinking about what you're going to say next, but with the goal of just soaking up what they have to share. And this is why it's so important. This isn't just some nice, fluffy idea. It has real, tangible benefits. It brings mentorship and wisdom into our workplaces. It can bring stability to our communities. And honestly, it brings a much deeper sense of connection and meaning into our own lives. So, we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. As we all keep pushing forward, innovating, and racing toward the future, it's probably worth stopping for a second to ask ourselves, what crucial, hard-won wisdom are we accidentally leaving in the dust?